just felt like it was something I could do. I felt so helpless, and I thought that at the time, I mean, nobody knew how big the marches were going to be, but at that moment it just felt like a way of voicing my deep disappointment and concern. We got on a bus at 10 o'clock at night and rode all night to get there, and got there about 7:30 in the morning, and marched all day, then got back on the bus and rode home and got home 5:30 the next morning. When we got out of the train and saw that station, wall to wall people, and the energy was electric, and I knew at that moment this is going to be really big. We all had vastly different reasons for marching. I mean, I'm very concerned about women's issues, but I'm also concerned about the environment. I'm concerned about our attitude toward immigrants. I'm concerned about health care. So many reasons why people were marching, but they were all unified around this idea that our president's his vulgarity, his insensitivities, his isolationist tendencies, his ideology of building walls instead of bridges, that does not represent us, and that was very affirming. And for the first time in months, I felt I saw a way forward. But I particularly noticed the women who were older, women with walkers and women with canes and women with in wheelchairs, and it was pretty emotional, because you knew that this is not the first time they've marched. They were there again. They haven't given up the fight, and they weren't doing it for themselves, because for some of them, they won't be around to see what happens as a result of this administration. They won't be here to see people suffer and die if they don't have health care. They won't be here for the environment to choke us out. But they did it for the next generation and the next generation. What mom wouldn't be thrilled to spend that time with their daughters? And we'll never forget it. I think it's going to go down in history as a pretty important event, a watershed moment for activism in this country. And I'm just very happy that we'll be able to say we were there together. We will not go away. Welcome to your first day. I think this is a sad time of anti-intellectualism, where knowledge and reading and understanding history and what's come before is sort of being dismissed as the old way of doing politics, and that's frightening and scary, because we all know that if we don't know history, we're doomed to repeat it. I like to think that an educated person, or that an education teaches people how to make that leap in the imagination, to be able to get out of your own circumstances and out of your own body and out of your own head and heart, and to project into someone else's circumstances and body and heart and life, and to say that it's not enough for everything to be okay for me. That has to be okay for you too. And so I guess to look around and see all those hundreds of thousands of people who were making that leap, it was affirming. We were not a single cause group or a single voice group, insofar as we all had very many different issues, but what held us together, I think, was that all of the issues were about other. All of the issues were about somebody besides myself. I'm a woman of great privilege in so many reasons. I'm college educated and beyond. I'm white. I live in this nation of great opportunity. I have a fantastic job that I love. I'm privileged in countless ways. So it wasn't about me. And I had that sense from everybody around me at the march that it wasn't about them. They were all standing up for somebody else, or somebody whose voice isn't being heard, or for whatever reason can't be heard. And that was the milieu for me.
I think it was important for people to see that this wasn't just one group. This wasn't just in D.C., but that it was in so many different states. People need hope, and I think that people felt a sense of hope after just being together, trying to get organized and trying to think about the future. I think that was important, and I think we have to combat the anxiety. That's very important, and also just to try to develop some strategies in terms of just making the world a better place. It's not like we were in a perfect place before the elections. We weren't. There's work to do, and that work can continue.